Terry to Boban. 4 left on the shot clock. And Boban with one hand just up over the top of the defender.
In one of my very recent videos, I said that I personally felt bad for Los Angeles Clippers fans. The comment section of that video, they didn't share the same sentiment that I did. So I ask you guys today, are your thoughts any different? Do we feel bad for what some of these Clipper fans have had to endure? As a matter of fact, in the comments below, let's go ahead and name the most unfortunate franchise in the NBA right now. Don't say the New York Knicks. They don't count. We know New York has been through a lot. I want to know what fan base you guys feel like has been through the most. So I'm sure you guys have heard about it already. If you haven't, the Clippers were down 50 points at halftime today. This isn't a joke. I'm not making this up. It's just flat out tough. Now, of course, blowouts happen all the time in sports. It's nothing new. If you watch college football, you'll see a lot of blowouts. It happens when a great team gets matched up against a team that is way worse, not exactly in the same division or realm of competition. You see it happen a lot in college basketball too. Where you don't normally see it is in leagues where everybody is a professional. Honestly, I'm going to try my best to not be too hard on the Los Angeles Clippers, because while I feel like I have never seen anything like this before, I kind of have. It's not exactly the same, but the New Orleans Hornets at the time lost to the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, which you could say is worse, 121-63. Let me know if that's worse in the comments below. We had a prime Chris Paul. I thought we could go all the way. And we did. We went all the way home. Okay, so check it out, guys. This video, we have a lot to talk. We have to talk Los Angeles Clippers basketball. We have to give Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks their props. Before we go any further, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss another Get Like Coop video, and that's facts. If you guys enjoy my content, the chances are you're going to enjoy my streams. We're going to be streaming a lot this week. The link to my stream is going to be in the description below. Also, you'll find the link to my NFL channel and my Twitter there. Be sure to check both of those out if that's something you guys are interested in. So the Clippers trailing by 50 at halftime marked the largest halftime deficit in NBA history. The previous record in the shot clock era was 47 points. The Warriors were beating the Kings all the way back in 1991. That's a long time ago. 47 is a lot of points. 50 is more. Saying the Clippers were down 50 doesn't do this entire thing justice, because the Clippers only had like 25 or 27 points at halftime. 75-25, 77-27. These are just scores that sound ridiculous to say. It's just all ugly. One game is one game, and the Clippers being down big is what it is. But I felt like Greg Anthony made a great point. He said 30 points is one thing, 20 points is one, 50 is a different story. He went on to say it's almost impossible to be down 50 in an NBA game, and he's right. Recently, the Clippers had just lost Kawhi to a devastatingly scary injury, and we honestly hope that he is okay. But at the same time, the Mavericks, they didn't have Kristaps. Luka Doncic almost outscored the entire team at halftime by himself. He had 18 points, he was 7 of 14 from the field, and he had 4 assists. The Dallas Mavericks aren't some top-tier defensive team. They gave up 138 the other night to the Los Angeles Lakers, and while the Lakers have LeBron, who's one of the best to ever do it, my point remains the same. If Dallas was some dominant defense, does that make any of this any better? All too often we say things start at the top in the NBA, and it's true. Somewhere along the lines, it felt like Doc Rivers became a fall guy for this Los Angeles Clippers team. And honestly, I'm not sure how much of the blame should go Doc's way. Now look, Doc wasn't perfect. He had some questionable decisions, especially with rotations and on the defensive side of the basketball. So I'm not going to sit here and say Doc Rivers holds no blame, but this game I feel like tells a story that has been all too familiar with this Los Angeles Clippers team. Where was the energy? In this game, I thought I saw some energy in the second half coming into the second half, but that quickly went away. Serge Ibaka felt like somebody that was out there trying, somebody that was at least playing with a tad bit of passion, which at the end of the day is all you can ask for. When star players aren't playing hard, they become really hard to root for. Now, of course, I'm not saying the Clippers stars weren't necessarily playing hard, but I've always preferred players that are going to go out and give me their all. One common theme for the Clippers last season was their energy. I said that earlier, but it remains true. Doc Rivers questioned the energy of the team time and time again. And that brings me to the question, who does the blame fall on when players aren't playing hard? Once upon a time, I used to think it was on the coach to get players riled up, to get players bought in to their game plan, to get players to basically buy in and play hard. But at some point, some of that blame has to go to the players. A coach can only do so much when it comes to getting players prepared to execute. Now we know Ty Lue's MO. This guy's notorious for being the guy that will tell players anything. This is the guy that talks back to LeBron James. I'm interested to see how Ty is going to handle this whole situation. What's also interesting to me is that Ty Lue is somebody that has one of those coaching resumes that makes you wonder exactly how good this is. This is a big season, not only for Paul George, not only for Kawhi Leonard, not only for the rest of this Clippers squad, but also for Tyronn Lue, at least in my opinion. Part of me wonders if Kawhi Leonard is looking at this game, has been paying attention to everything happening in the Clippers organization, and is starting to question, is this it? There has to be better out there. You remember how tightly everything was ran in Toronto? I wonder if Kawhi took some of that for granted. Kawhi is mainly a quiet guy. I know Kawhi doesn't like all of the leaks coming from the Clippers organization. I know he probably doesn't like the on-court product the Clippers have put together thus far. Now, of course, the Clippers did start this season 2-0. They got a big win versus the Lakers, but we saw the same thing last season. Now, with Kawhi out, I really thought this would have been a great chance for Paul George to take things to another level. He was talking about being on everybody's head. Coming into this game, he's been having a fine season. He's been looking like the PG of old. But without Kawhi, this would have been one of those games to, show everybody that Paul George is still that Indiana, that OKC Paul George that was different. Now, I'm not saying what happened today is in any way the fault of Paul George, but it's times like this where you see what players are truly made of, where you see what the leadership at the top is truly made of. Now, I know this doesn't get a lot of pub or anything like that, but I would have loved to see Kawhi out in Miami with Jimmy Butler. That's just me. Let me know if you guys think people are overreacting to this game, or is this a reoccurring theme for the Los Angeles Clippers? I personally think this is a scary sight that could be a major problem. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm Get Like Who, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.